What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 29 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Orion Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we began our next ritual, the ritual of the Gaian Veil, and though we haven't gotten our first battle started, Alka should be able to get into it at the start of next turn. Now we ended off the episode itself with the army, the Hobo army, the War Dancer / Loic army in general, around Luthor Harkon, trying to see whether we could get these guys, both these armies, into combat. Before we jump into that, however, I want to point something out. I was taking a look at the heroes available to us between the episodes, and I had wondered, the Wanderers are the Loic's followers, wondered why it seemed that the Shadow Dancers were so irrelevant to the War Dancers, and just like the bad luck that we've had with the getting the War Dancer traits on a Lord, the Forest Stewards, it was also a matter of luck on the Chosen. We didn't get the good trait, but we have our first one now. Sylvan Ward, passive ability recovery for all War Dancers. So essentially a smaller regeneration available to all the War Dancers just by having this hero in the army. That's what we were missing, and that's what we're going to put in that army to power it up even further. Not that I'm of the opinion that it particularly needs it, but hey, why not, right? Replenish troops, and I believe we were doing Shadows Fall there, so let's go Misdirection and then into Shadows Fall. Alright, after. Lovely. I am excited to see how much more powerful this will make the troops. Anyway, speaking of those troops, let's see if Luthor Harkon is willing to give us a fight, shall we? I think not on Overzealous Attack. Yeah, it's more damage, but these guys are already high damaging, and they don't have... They are vigorous, but nonetheless. Anyway, do we attack Luthor or do we attack Ronnie the Treacherous? I think we have to attack Luthor because Gorok would come in as a reinforcement otherwise, and we don't want that. So, go for Luthor, see if he runs. And he will not run. Beautiful. That's 2 stacks, including Luthor Harkon himself, for the Loic's tricksters to face off against. Sounds like a real good time to me. Let's get to it. Alright, here we go. I'm excited for this particular fight, especially considering... Oh, Unicorn. We don't use this mount all that much, and probably won't keep it, to be honest, because I think the Great Eagle is going to be better for a caster either way, because on the Eagles, the casters can still fight and cause bleed. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. It should be a good fight. And we got Luthor Harkon and his stack plus his second stack, and we are quite vulnerable to range fire with the small amount of armor that the various War Dancers have, and thus we have deployed in a particular manner rather than just the line that we usually do, because this army actually threatens us. We deployed to take advantage of our Vanguard deployment. And Blade Singers will head directly towards the enemy line to distract them, but here in the corner we've deployed all of our War Dancers, who will actually be the first into combat. Why the War Dancers with Twin Blades? Because their Shadow's Coil ability causes them to lose their 10 melee attack, but the 10 melee defense and 10% damage resistance that it gives them is a pretty considerable buff and allows them to stay in combat for quite a while, putting them up to 55% ward save and 84% or 84 melee defense, all the while still having huge melee attack and weapon strength numbers. The Azrai Spears rather have been deployed all the way on the left flank as far as possible, and in fact started out in the trees where they were hidden, but they want to take advantage of their Woven Mists ability, which allows them to travel much faster and flank the enemy just like a unit of cavalry would with their 83 speed, which is pretty ridiculous for a unit of infantry. Somewhere Sigvald's getting jealous of their running capability. Of course, he runs much faster than that, but his army was never able to keep up with him, to my endless amusement in the Archaon campaign. Anyway, the War Dancers with twin blades are in combat now. It looks like the Blade Singers are about ready to join. We get our first Blade Storm off in the pile of enemy units, heavily dishing damage to Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob, as well as the unit of Deck Gunners, since they are threats. And look at that speed on those Azrai War Dancers. We will not deactivate their Woven Mist because the enemy gunnery mobs will continue to fire in melee, and we want to take advantage of that 40% missile resistance in combination with that ward save, effectively making them, if not immune to range damage, pretty much as minimally likely to take damage from them as possible. And there we go, the flankers have closed in, and obviously the gunnery mobs stand no chance against the hobo spear wielders, who spin and who slay and who bring the house down upon the gunnery mobs. Out here, the Blade Dancers and the War Dancers with twin blades, both of the twin blade units have crushed Luthor Harkon himself, as well as his troops between them, and it looks like his entire army is destroyed. Here come his reinforcements, however, too little too late in some ways, though they do have a ton of mortars that they're toting with them. And from when our War Dancers fought the Imperials previously, Marcus Wolfhart's expedition, or their faction, not necessarily Marcus Wolfhart himself, we know that the mortars can damage the War Dancers quite a bit if we let them, because mortars, because of their splash damage and the fact that we're essentially unarmored infantry. So we gotta be wary of it. Anyway, looks like the enemy has Necropolis Knights with them, which is kind of interesting, I guess, from Arcan. And we immediately send the Great Forest Eagles to charge the Necropolis Knights and heavily damage them, while the Blade Singers hit them in the flanks as well. Now, the Azrai War Dancers, or the Spears, are moving towards the Mortars, who are attempting to hit them, and will probably land a few shots, but once again, that 83 speed means we should be able to close the distance quite quickly, and hopefully have enough resistance from the enemy fire not to take too much damage from the mortars. And there we go, those poor artillery crews. The Vampire Coast's artillery crews are the most fragile in the game. I mean, you look at them wrong, you sneeze on them, and they explode, and in a good way. And the War Dancers are fantastic at ripping infantry apart, even the anti-large Azrai Spears. Oh, wait. Actually, they don't have anti-large, they're just spears. It just makes me think that because they're spears, they're anti-large. They're not, but it doesn't matter. Either way, they're good, and the artillery crews will go down. The enemy lord has been caught by the other units of War Dancers, the Twin Blade variant, and will similarly get ripped apart, like so. The crews are fallen, and the artillery has, by and large, gone silent as they get overrun, and as we use our massive speed to our advantage and bring the enemy down. Yeah, so the regular War Dancers do have the bonus versus infantry, but the spears have armor piercing instead, which, well, against most of the enemy units that are cav are generally somewhat armored, so it'll still be more effective against them. Anyway, heroic victory for us, hardly surprising, as in hardly surprising that it's a heroic victory, considering the enemy outnumbered us, and I don't remember what the auto-resolve said. Valiant? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This means we did way better than the auto-resolve was expecting. Good job to the hobos. Alright, there we go. Very, very nice indeed. If you've ever wondered what happens when a pile of vampire pirates are struck by a hobo blender, the same thing that happens to everything else. Abduct captives will heal our eagles up, and the relatively minimal damage that we've taken on the other units. Looks like Looks like the Azure Spears got more kills than most of the other units this time around. Usually they get the least, but this time they were able to use their speed to obliterate all those many weapon crews and a few of the gunners as well. So their speed certainly helped them out. Plus, it's not only speed they gain, but an additional 40% missile strength at the cost of or missile resistance at the cost of that melee defense, which is certainly helpful against units that are strong with missiles but weak in melee. Abduct captives. Alright, and Luthor Harkon does survive, but it's not a good life. At least depending on which of his personalities is active at that particular moment. What do we have here? Spell resistance 25%. I would really prefer like 10% for the entire army, but all good. Cult of Sotek mission successful. Enemy killed in battle, and I guess we'll want to run down Harkon. I imagine that Gorok should be able to finish up with Mr. Connor Nord here, although... I wonder if he'll try to go after Schlanwapek. Well, even if he does, one of the lizards can retake it, and then we won't be all that concerned. Anyway, take down Mr. Harkon here. And, ooh, that'll put us in the attrition tier. Now we're immune to vampiric attrition. One of the attritions that we're immune to because of our settlements. So, conduct out captives again. That'll give us more mana, which is also nice. And then we'll stand in ambush stance. Who knows, maybe we can catch L. Jackson out here. Lovely. Alright, now I do believe that's the only thing that we actually had to do this particular turn. Now, we do have to do two things. Now, between the episodes, I've been using these guys as builders because they all have the Master Mason trait. It's not much to minus 6%, but hey, with 4 of them, plus on top of that the Refined Dreaming Bow, it's significant enough to allow us to build up a few of these places. Not enough here yet, but that'll change. Now, what we want to do with one of them... One with the forest. You. Builder's Alto. You have tier 2 building. I just want to see here. So this is present in buildings during building construction. I don't know whether buildings need to be finished or not. Wait. Builder Varcio. Oh, you don't have this. Oh no, I took the wrong builder. Oh, you have the construction time reduction. Okay, so you are still a builder. Fair enough, fair enough. And yeah, alright, so we're going to take you, Builder Zalto, and we're going to temporarily put you back to the Oak of Ages so that you can be present in the Crag Halls of Findal when this set of buildings finishes up. Hopefully that'll max you out. I don't know if it will, but let's just hope that it does. Yeah. Alright, and I believe that's good enough, so we're going to skip. I don't remember if there were other moves to make or other armies to be moved, but I don't think that there are. Or at the very least, I doubt it. So that's what we're going to go with. End turn. Alright, now let's see if anybody attacks it. Malekith might be able to sally out of Naggarond as a last hurrah as his capital is threatened, and indeed he will. And despite the fact that we should have the advantage here, it'll kill off all of our Glade Guard. I think it's a little bit risky to do that right now because there might be vampirates moving up, so we will fight this manually. Why not? Let's get to it. Alright, here we go. A foolish move from, I guess, whoever was in charge of holding a Naggarond while Malekith is absent. Probably Kuran Darkhand. I don't think he's... I don't remember if SFO adds him or not, but anyway, foolish move playing right into the hands of the Sisters of Twilight, who bring forth their Hawk Riders and their Dragon real quick, getting that Force Dragon Breath into a few of the enemy units, and then setting up positions behind the enemy army to fire into their backs with the Eagles. First order of business is sniping the enemy Sorceress of Dark, who takes about 70% of her HP from the first volley and loses the rest of her HP from the second. And we do have a few enemy cav units actually managing to charge our Glade Guard, but A, we really don't care about what happens to the Glade Guard, and B, it still wasn't enough to bring them down. And we can we move our Spellsinger Beasts to help. She does have an Eagle after all, and with 440 damage and bleed, she can still dish out decent damage to those relatively fragile units. Now, obviously, if that had been a unit of Cold One Dread Knights, we wouldn't have sent the caster in because it would have not gone so well, but the regular Cold One Knights are fragile enough to not be super threatening. Anyway, looks like the enemy rear lines have been destroyed, and in fact, our Hawk Riders have all landed early, allowing the melee Great Forest Eagles to close in with the melee units, while the Hawk Riders rip all the enemy Dark Shards to shreds. If you're wondering why we landed rather than just obliterating them from the air with our arrows, it's because in terms of damage rate, or how fast they kill, the Hawk Riders do kill faster in melee than they do in range against units with lots of models, like infantry and stuff, though they will be much faster at killing enemy units that are in melee, or they would be much faster at killing single entities, rather. But yeah, with the enemy range support destroyed, Nestor and Arhan land upon the very threatening Blackguard of Naggarond. We are being careful not to close the distance with them with our eagles. We will drop a few spells upon them, but only use the summoned eagles, not the regular Great Forest Eagles, to fight them because, well, obviously, they're a big threat. They are, however, the only threat remaining on the screen. We have corralled them from every side with Eagle, with Hawk, and with Arrow, and now it's just a matter of time for waiting them to take sufficient damage until they shatter, and until the battle is ours. Speak of the devil, there they go, and there we are. 3 minutes, quick battle, and Naggarond itself will fall. Well done to the sisters, and appropriate, because that's definitely something that they'd want to do in their own campaign. Alright, very nice work indeed to our flying feathered friends. Gotta remember that the eagles, while they do a massive damage, they are still very, very fragile. Just dropping in and attacking the Blackguard of Naggarond sees them lose like half their HP in like 3 seconds. It's actually shocking how quickly they lose almost all their HP. I think we only managed to lose one of the eagles from that, but yeah, you gotta be real careful, and that's why we didn't really engage with the Blackguard of Naggarond all that much, with the eagles preferring to destroy the rest of the army before cornering the Blackguard and allowing them to shatter after the rest of the army had been dealt with, which kept most of the eagles at least alive. Now, we did complete this, which gives us, yes, 26k from raising Naggarond. Beautiful. And we will most definitely raise it as... No peace treaty. As we need that cash. And we'll probably back away. Count Noctilus, Dreadfleet, nope, no thank you, no need. Silostra, Deerfawn, no need either. And, okay, yeah, this means that everybody's gonna ask us for stuff this turn. Every few turns. You want a non-aggression pact? I'm gonna say no right now. Especially not while you're fighting the Cult of Sotek. Vlad, no. You need to be gone. Especially since he comes back up every turn, he's just gonna be a hassle to deal with. No peace treaty. There's still Kairos down there as well, and now looks like the Empire is somewhat recovering, and oh, I guess we kind of dealt with their problems now, so they're just going to hang out. Alright, fine. Interesting, they're hanging out. Unfortunately, Miao Ying is basically done for. Her main stag got destroyed by the looks of it. Nangao has a fairly poor garrison, and... well, I don't know what's in this army, but it's not looking good. Chaos has pretty much destroyed the northern provinces. It does look like the lizards are doing decently well, however, so maybe they will at least survive, though there are still dark elven territories here by the looks of it. Looks like it's the interior, the Skaven territories that have been overtaken by the lizards. Interesting. Master Mason, hey, it worked with Builder's Alto, so it is the completion of the buildings that you have to be present for, and... oh, Recruiter Shaw Muscle. You've got it maxed out as well, so you can be Builder Shaw Muscle from now on. Lovely. Ally mobilizes towards settlement. Cult of Sotek, sure. Ally occupies settlement, good. 1,000 Maws destroyed and Clan Eshin destroyed. Confederation between Naggarond and Karond Kar. Standard of... oh, that's several more factions that we're not at war with. Down to 29k per turn. Unfortunate. And, oh, they wounded one of our tech thieves despite... oh, it's Isabella, I guess. Wait. Tremendously rude. And that's with the Dryad Spy that reduces the chance of that happening. But oh well. Ambusher discovered, technology research, diplomatic relations with all factions, invasion imminent, a ritual of rebirth available in Griffin Wood. Well, it may be available, but it's not available. No, okay, I got excited and thought we might be able to actually use it still, but no. No dice, alas. Recruiter Shaw Muscle, you have been promoted to Builder Shaw Muscle. Alright, and this also means that Builder Zalto here, assuming that there's nothing to build here, you can head back right to the Witchwood with the other builders, assuming that there are no other builders that can go to you right now. Builder Findal, you have it maxed out as well, yes? Yes, alright. You are going to transfer the two-way watchers to Dulceth. Dulceth, you have 18 out of 20, 19 out of 20, and 20 out of 20. Alright, other army complete. Builder Findal and Builder Shaw Muscle, you're gonna have to transfer your stuff. And Stressleth, your army is also complete. We just had to figure out where to send you. I actually wanted to send one of these armies out to sea in order to try to acquire some... well, you know what? For now, you're gonna go to Orion's camp. And we need to grab Carrick Zorn, but I wanted to send these armies out to sea in order to try, at least, to acquire the... you have Siege Attacker, right? Oh, nothing in this army has Siege Attacker, so we won't be able to... Okay, but it's alright. Break Siege, just stop moving, stop it. Okay.
Of Athel Loren.
In order to see if we could get materials at sea, but anyway, there's nobody nearby. If we take you two to attack this together, you should be able to occupy it, regardless of the fact that it has a defensive structure, which unfortunately does prevent a cinematic, but this does put a smile on my face. Briefly in camp, and auto-resolve. Alright, certainly we took some damage, but worth our time, and we'll occupy the Heathland. It's also not worth to not occupy it, and I guess we'll go for... Wait, what? 400 gold per turn from the gold mine. It's not horrible, but at the same time, we will need to... Oh, it's actually not bordering Orion's camp anyway. Casabaras, meaning we'll just build a gold mine, I guess. Alright, Scroll of Power, Hunting Hound, Young Stag, Elven Steed, Strathot, and you are both stuck here for the nonce, I guess. Alright, fair enough. And ooh, by the looks of it, the last defenders have lost their main stack and are about to lose a bunch of their territories to these guys. Well... that's hardly surprising because... Oh, they do have ancients... Oh, now they've built frickin' dino buildings. They didn't have them before. Granted, we don't have the allegiance with them to make good use of them, but nonetheless. Nonetheless. Anyway, what do we need to do and where do we need to do it? First of all, Malekith has returned with a pile of... Pile of Blackguard. We don't really need to deal with them anymore. I think we're just gonna go over here and raise the Temple of Cain. And, wait, we can raise it with our other units as well. So, you stay there. Heroic Victory. Oh, got some stuff. Switch to Forest Calls, I guess. Then Circo, we're gonna have you go here. And we're gonna swap like... so. At least until we get dragons. Then we will raise this place. Auto resolve, it'll probably damage us, but not so bad. And raise it for 9k. And then someone's visit. Still gotta protect Mr. Circo here. Alright, and I think that's enough of a ruin barrier that we are free to return to the Witchwood and build some stuff there. Eternal Guard Commander, right? Interesting. I think it's the second one we've got through the entire campaign. Frankly, the game should probably incentivize that you build a bunch of Eternal Guard, so it should probably just keep giving you a billion of those. But that's one of the ancillaries that we don't have a lot of. I have tons of Dryad Spies, and most of them are given out. Forest Spirits, pretty much on everybody. Oh, look at all those Forest Spirits. Hawk Companions, pretty much on everybody. In fact, we don't have any spares. Hunting Hounds are kind of meh, but we're still giving them to most. Same with Vols, Anvil Smiths. War Dancer Drummers aren't as useful, though. Salvage. Just so that they don't take space. And frankly, we could probably do the same thing with a bunch of the Hunting Hounds. Salvage. Young stags are useful, and we don't have any spares, and I don't even see the Eternal Guard commanders. Should be up here, yeah. There's just 2 of them, and 1 Elder Scout, ranked up above rank 20. You would think that this is like the one that is the easiest to acquire, but apparently not. Anyway, let's keep moving. The ancillaries have been distracting me. Now, here's a question. There was a... oh, look, they're building up their little army here. There was a... You occupy this. Seat it. And build it so that we trade it to these guys. Speaking of these guys, while we're at it, you can have Norden. We can't give you Norden unless we take Castle von Rauken. Which, funnily enough, gives us the entire territory, but not necessarily what we want. Alright, fine, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. Gotta do what you gotta do. Ellen Delling, you're kinda gonna be the one that's mostly dealing with this, though. There was a Beastman army here. And I no longer know where it is. Go here.
Finding pathways.
Alright, so they're running from Doomkeep, which is not surprising because it's basically undefended. I don't think we need to send Orion there. Orion? Damn, I was hoping that you could just jump... Yeah, I think you could jump down here, but I'm willing to bet you won't be able to go to the Monolith of Catan, at least not for this turn. Can we get back to where we need to go in 3 turns? Maybe. Yes, we can. Alright, I think, Orion, we're going to leave Norska with you. Where are we going to head to? There's 2 places. The first is obviously to Athel Loren for the final ritual, but that's not what we want to do right now. A and B, I'm pretty sure that we wouldn't be able to pop it anyway. Yeah, because the other rituals are active. Where we can send Orion is this place. That's a lot of armies that we could fight at the same time to give him a proper battle and a solid debut for his...
As you say.
Stag Knights. Alright, you're gonna lose the unnamed Wild Riders, which we've kept unnamed, and there we go, the final form of his army. 5 Wild Riders, 3 Great Stag Knights, 4 Sky Hunters, and 4 Sisters of the Thorn. We still have more Wild Riders than anything, as well as the Sisters, which will be buffed by Ariel by a fairly considerable margin, hitting with missile strength nearly as much as the various Hawk units, but the Hawk units work very nicely here as well. Anyway, let's get back to doing stuff in order. I was excited about new army stuff. And, oh, right, the builders. Now, are there any more builders? I just want to max out all of the trees so that we never have to deal with them again, essentially. Builder Findal, so you and Shamus are supposed to go there. So what we'll do, since Shamus can't move this turn, is transfer this stuff to her, like so. These are just troops that we get as, like, spare troops from other armies. Oh, also, do we have any more treeman capacity? No. Building as many as we can for Durthu, but it's all we got for now. Anyway, Builder Findal, we're sending you to the Witchwood. Like so, and that's all the builders, bringing down the cost of this to 23.5k. Pretty manageable, I would say. And I guess we should also build the other stuff here. Let's go for the Sculptor's Cavern first, because it's growth for all provinces. 613 growth, though we're getting a bunch of growth from several of the builders having bonuses to it, so yeah. And, ooh, where's Marathi going, I wonder? We shall see. Durthu, my friend, you're supposed to head to the Black Fortress, though... Oh my. Damn, look at that. Trutch and a bunch of ogres. It looks like Imric isn't having such a great time right now. Well... Draj is right here, wait. We're not immune to Chaos Corruption, though, or Chaos Attrition. Meaning if we go into Masterful Ambush, it won't work. We'll go right here beside Draj, and we'll see what he does. More likely than not, he'll just back away towards the Black Fortress, although, wait, he can't move through us, and he is stuck because of Prentically? Odd elven name there, but anyway. Luren. You guys, we're supposed to catch these guys. Now, we know that there are 2 of them, and we don't know... Oh, Really, another full stack? I am so sick of this frickin' Beastman, this frickin' Beastman army, or this Beastman faction. We really need them gone. Please catch them, please kill them. Oh, he's gonna run around, we're not gonna be able to move. It's gonna be just out of range. Yeah, just gonna be just out of range. Alright, go into Masterful Ambush and then sit right here. I don't know where this guy's gonna go, but maybe we can catch him. Ah, what about you? Can we catch you? Just destroy them for good, please. You're gonna go deeper into... No, you're gonna go around the mountain. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Oh, and we can't reach you either. Wow, that's just... wow. Alright, go here into Masterful Ambush again, and we'll see if we can't do something about it. Oh, man. Well, it might be too close and it might not, but we gotta keep chasing him. Not like we have a choice in the matter. Now, look at that. Malagor, rather, is going after Emmerich from this side. And... yeah, Emmerich's definitely on the back foot. Maybe we should send an army down to prevent him from dying, because we're looking to mill a bunch of turns, or continue milling turns, so there is that. Anyway, we are going to go for... ooh, Math lands at 1 turn now, and so is Loic. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know what, we should do this right now. Why? Because they're going to go back up to 2 turns in, what, 4 turns? Where is it? Yeah, in 3 turns, Hanor will be gone, and then the additional research rate will be gone and stuff. Anyway, folks, I think there's a bunch more admin to do, and I think I'll deal with it between the episodes, including moving the heroes and all that sort of stuff, and we'll come back to it and deal with whatever else it is we have to deal with next time. So, calling it here, maybe we'll raise the Awakening, and then back away, just to take the cash in, and then maybe I'll be able to build another one of these between the episodes as well. This is tier 5 now. There's, well, we're getting most of them up to tier 5. Griffinwood may be next because it'll be able to go up to tier 5, though it is crazy expensive. But anyway, I'll figure that out between the episodes, and then when we come back, we'll hopefully have a little bit more bonus, or a little bit more battle action, starting with this particular ritual. Not that we're in a hurry, since we are stuck in 7 turns. Anyway, more Orion to come. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as I suppose the interest in this will determine how many of these rituals we actually complete going towards the end of the campaign, because we've been able to essentially end the campaign since turn 50 or so, because we've been able to pop the final ritual and fight the final battle. So we'll do that when I have deduced or decided that the interest is such that we should just do those. I guess we still want to perform 8 rituals to get the long campaign victory, but it also isn't super necessary. Anyway, I've said all this stuff. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.